Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah through his son Yahushua HaMashiach. It's your brother UncleK, and we're back with another one. I hope you're having a Baruch day, and I hope right now you have a sound mind and a sound heart. Now, before we get into the content, like the content, share the content, and comment down below. And if you're not a supporter, become a supporter right now. I just advise you to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. So let's get into it. Fellas, consistency. You must be consistent. You must be consistent with the Most High Yah. You have to be consistent with Yah. You have to be. You can't take 2 days off, 3 days off, 4 days off, a whole week, and start doing things off your own strength. You have to seek his face. You have to seek his righteousness. You must abide with the Father so that he can abide with you. Right? The more days you take off of seeking his face, being in his word, which is spirit, which is ruach, you're not going to feel as strong. You're not going to be at much peace because you're starting to stray away slowly and slowly and slowly. You're not praying as much. Even the little prayers, fellas. When you wake up in the morning, get on your knees, open up your palms, raise your hands to Yah, and pray. Give thanksgiving for the day. You got to be consistent with these things. When you're consistent with Yah, he's going to give you strength. He's going to give you power. He's going to give you peace. He's going to ordain your steps. He's going to give you that ultimate shalom. And when you take time off of the Most High, thinking that everything is all good, that's when certain calamities could come your way. Your mind wasn't set on Yah no more. Your mind was set on your bills. It was set on you just going to the gym, getting a workout. Your mind was just set on female attraction. Your mind was just set on things of the world because you started to drift away from the Most High. That's the first thing you must be very consistent with the Most High Yahuwah through his son Yahushua HaMashiach, which is your head, your cornerstone, your master. Right? Now, when you are consistent with the Most High, then you must be consistent with everything else. Right? You must be consistent with the works. Right? You must be consistent with the works because now you're with him. Now you got the faith. Right? You must be consistent with putting away the flesh. You must be consistent on bringing up the temple. You must be consistent with these things that's going to edify you, not things that's going to break you down. Right? Be consistent with the gym. Train, eat, recover. Don't be in gluttony. Don't just eat food for pleasure. Because when you start moving away from the Most High, that's when you start worrying about pleasure and you start eating food. You start eating pizza, cheeseburgers, french fries, fast food, and things of that nature because now time is accelerating for you. So now you don't have that peace anymore. You feel like the clock is chasing you instead of you being at peace and realizing that the Most High has slowed down time for you. Right? So you got to be consistent with those things. Be consistent with your training. Be consistent with your work ethic. Be consistent on things that you are building up that's edifying to the spirit and not towards the flesh. Be consistent with these things, right? Because when you start taking time off for doing righteous deeds, that's when iniquity wants to creep in and take over, right? When you start getting real comfortable, real complacent with your journey, thinking that the Most High have brought you so far, and now you feel like you want to kick your 2 feet up and sit in a recliner chair and just relax and not think of things of the Most High. That's when things are going to start creeping in. That's when you're going to start being on the phone, scrolling, watching other people's lifestyles, not really sitting down trying to get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You're just going to be sitting down, just watching things without using your brain. Your brain is going to be on autopilot now. You're just absorbing content, absorbing stimuli that could lead you astray and keep you double-minded, right? That's why consistency is very important, because you fought for so long to rewire yourself, right? First, you were rewiring yourself through the word. You were very consistent with the word, right? And then by you being on retention, right? Being on chastity, living a life of chastity, you put away the liquor, you put away the smoking, you put away the fornication, you put away in iniquities. You've been consistent with that now, so now you're feeling a rewiring process now. And when you felt that renewal of the mind, that's when you felt like now everything was in your hands and now you could kick back and relax. But you got to continue to remember that those days that you were fighting to rewire your brain and get your body back functioning and starting to get back into the Ruach of the Most High, you kept abiding in the Most High in order to get to that shalom and get to that increase, right? It wasn't anything that you were doing. It was everything that the Most High was doing, but you kept working towards it, right? You see, running after the Most High, taking leaps, taking faith, taking strides, moving boulders out the way, that's you working to get to Yah. That's you fighting these obstacles, right? That's why we are faced with adversity and we have to endure. Enduring means you got to work, you got to fight, right? You're not supposed to be complacent and comfortable, right? Look at the apostles that was following Yahusha. After they were done, after Yahusha got risen up back into the Shamayim, they was working nonstop. They was traveling, they was working, they was going, they was on go mode, right? Because they was with the master. The master was giving them, what they needed. The master was providing them with the food, with the edification, right? With the word, right? And then when he left, they had to go to work now. They had to go to work. They was already at work, but they had to go to work 10 times more than that. And we got to do the same thing too. And that's with all things in our life. You want to be healthy, you got to put away the abominable foods. You got to put away the fried foods. You got to put away the sodas. You got to put away the chips. You got to put away these things. And let me tell you something. There's no excuse, right? There's no excuse depending on what community you're living in, right? I remember back in the day, before I moved out to California, when I was living in Jersey, living in New York, I had it tough, right? But I wasn't going to the bodegas and I wasn't buying a bag of chips. I wasn't buying soda pop. I wasn't doing those things. I was going to the spot. I was getting me some rolls, some Hispanic rolls. I would go check out their produce. I would get some avocados. You know what I'm saying? I would try my best. I would go to a little Spanish restaurant, get a little rice and beans with avocado, with a little pescado, little fish. You know what I'm saying? I was out there trying to do the best that I could do, right? Even though the pockets was tight. So we right now, we in a society right now where they push poverty and make you feel like with a certain type of income, you can't eat healthy. I know, fellas, we working hard. We know bills is getting expensive. We know rent is high. They want $2,400 for a 1-bedroom these days. You know what I'm saying, fellas? And we still got to work, right? That's why we doing the best that we can. We getting that change and we paying our bills and we doing a little extra to get by. But that don't mean that you can't be consistent in the little things, right? You could eat healthy. It's possible, right? And that goes the same thing with the Most High. The world is very, very loud. The world got a lot of things going on. The world wants you to be overstimulated with the music that people be blasting through their cars, right? Music that they be blasting through these warehouses, these events, right? They want to push these ads to you with new music and all this type of stuff. Like, the world is loud. So much chaos going on. So many people fighting. So many people possessed out here. So much things going on that they want you to be more focused on what's going on in the world than what's going on with the Most High, right? His word is the living word. His word is going to give you life. His word is the real pure electrolytes, right? That's going to get you the real minerals. You understand? Those spiritual minerals to keep you going. That's going to keep your blood flowing. That's going to keep your brain at bay, right? Gotta be consistent. Gotta be consistent, because when you stop being consistent, that's when you start making the excuses that, it got too hard. I was overwhelmed. I couldn't do it no more. I was getting heavily tempted, right? Because you started taking days off. You started getting real comfortable. And how could the Most High, keep coming after you if you're not trying to knock at his door, You know what I'm saying? Like, hi, good, shalom, Father. Shalom, Yahuwah, through your son, Yahusha, peace. I come in peace. Thank you for the day. Give me the strength to continue to seek your face in a world that's extremely loud, a world that is full of iniquity that want me to separate myself from you, and by you keep meditating on these things, you're going to continue to seek his face. This world wants you to be consistent with the things that you can see instead of being consistent with the things that you can't see, right? That's why it's very pivotal for you to be very consistent in all things that's going to build you up in a Mashiach. All things that's going to build you up, right? Tell y'all, man, the more you seek Yah, is the more everything is just going to fall in place. Right? You got to continue to seek him. That way you could be consistent in everything. You could be consistent with not entertaining these iniquities, right? You could be consistent in, having a ton of strength when you're going to work. You're not going to be feeling drained. You're not going to be feeling fatigued because you've been so centered, focused on the Most High. You've been meditating on his scriptures. You may even, on your way to work, you're putting on these Hebrew scriptures, these Ivor scriptures, playing on your Bluetooth in the car, and you getting edified before you go into the workplace. You listening to these scriptures before you go to the gym. You probably got on your headphones and you listening to these scriptures while you training, right? You getting a much better connection, right? See, you gotta have your mind set on him in all areas of your life, not just because you want to be protected, but because you want him to continue to edify you, right? The Most High, he will continue to chase you and let you know, hey, come to me, come to my word, right? But then you take the steps to be like, you know what, I'm a little too busy right now. I'm going to get to it when I got time. Look, there's always time to get to the Father. Always time. Right, let's continue to praise the Yahuwah so we could continue to be strong and consistent in all things that we got to do, fellas. All right? And this goes for the ladies too, right? You be consistent with the Most High Yah. The Most High Yah is going to deliver you from your iniquities, and he going to give you a strong, righteous man. And that's real. Because I know y'all fellas, y'all putting away y'all iniquities too, so y'all could be set apart so that one woman that, really want a righteous man, that really want a man to strengthen her, she want to submit to a strong man, not a weak man, not a worldly man. You're going to get that. But you got to be consistent with the Most High. You have to be. You have to be. You can't be so focused on things that you want to build and not have the Most High in it, right? You gave him your petition for what it is that you want to do. When the day, like you gave him a petition the night before of the things that you wanted to do, Yah willing, for the day, right? And then, you got up and you said, Yah, thank you for waking me up today. Give me a good workout today. Give me some strength to move this bar. Give me some strength to go out and work. Give me some protection when I'm out in the field. For real. I hope y'all continue to have a blessed day, man. Set apart day. For real. It's your brother, UncleK. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah through his son, Yahusha HaMashiach. Y'all continue to have a blessed day once again. Y'all keep a sound mind and a sound heart. And I'll see y'all soon, Most High willing. But for now, peace.